Hello. Here I am. And here you are. Let me tidy up my little area here. What have I got going on? I've got my teacup. I've got my microphone. I've got 2 turntables and a microphone. Right? Anybody? Bueller? What did I do here? Ooh, I can cross that. I'm checking something on my habit tracker. Everybody, it's only, what is it? September 9th. You can still start your habit tracker if you want to. Good morning, Blonde Cheryl 60. Alrighty, what did I do there? Okay, I got halvesies there. I got one little thing to do. Oh, I totally did that one. Yeah, I have drank so much water today. I have drunk so much water today. That's not going to happen. All right, we're doing all right, people. How are you doing? So, hey, Destination Decluttered, Beth, Decluttering Life Coach. Ow. I got my COVID vaccination right here, and I got some blood taken right here because I'm left-handed. So I was about to say at your service, but my arm kind of hurts. So there we go. Okay, feeling great. Feeling 7-Up. I love it. Lulu. I hope you're feeling well. If not, let's work on that, shall we? I'll be here for the next hour or so, helping you with so many things, and yet really, it's about clutter. That's how we start. Good morning, Erin. I'm using this humongous mug that I have, and I noticed it's got a couple of chips in it. I didn't do that. Laura Gibbon Voorhees, nice to see you. I love that people are looking at the schedule, the TV guide, as it were. Kara's Garden, Kara, I hope you're feeling better. I heard it through the grapevine that you're not feeling so good, so I'm hoping you're feeling better, hon. And if not, maybe just hanging around with your declutter pals will make you feel a little bit better. I know one thing that made me feel better today already was knowing that we always start with how you're feeling physically, and is there something we can do to change it? As I just mentioned, I had some blood work done this morning, just routine stuff, and therefore I needed to, fast. I was getting a bit peckish, num, and so I put a little cookie in my pocket so that as soon as I was done with the blood work, I could eat something because I knew I would feel better if I had something to eat. Now I had some stuff to drink. I had drank some water. I got some tea in me. What are the things, you could write these down, what are the things that make you feel better physically? There we go. Well, hey, that's a good thing. My COVID test was negative, so I've got that going for me. Yes, that is a good thing to go for you. I just got my COVID booster. My husband is very on top of that for us. And I was feeling a little bit off this weekend too. And I thought, oh crap, do I have the vid? And luckily I do not. So hang out on the couch, snuggle with your bear, and perhaps this will make you feel better. Okay? Distracting yourself from the pain that sometimes you need to live through in order to get to the other side. Sometimes it's just a matter of time. I think that's also a Depeche Mode song. I'm always quoting the songs, people. You know that about me. And people say, oh, that's because you have ADHD or you're autistic. I don't care what the reason is. I love having a brain full of songs. So I offer to you, do a quick scan from the crown on down. How are you feeling? If there's a point that lights up that you're not feeling well, let's work on it. Do something. Action. Do. Verb. That's what's happening. Where's my microphone, my Mr. Microphone? Verb. That's what's happening. Doing something. And sometimes doing something is honestly resting. Sometimes doing something to make you feel better physically is sneezing. I feel a sneeze coming on, so I've got my Kleenex or my generic facial tissues at the ready. So excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh, All right, that felt better. I decluttered my nostrils, people. It happens all the time. If you even thought of how many times your body organically gets rid of what it doesn't want. Sometimes you've got a tear in your eye because you've got like an eyelash or a cinder, a piece of soot. You've got boogers in your nose you want to get rid of. You've got an awful taste in your mouth. You spit it out. I don't know. You've got wax in your ears, maybe. I know you're not supposed to use the Q-tips, but things that happen down below. This is a PG-13 show, so we will not get into the details, but you know. So think of, even honestly, inhaling and exhaling is a form of decluttering. You're in with the good air, out with the bad air. Can you imagine if your body held on to the things that aren't good for you, you would poison yourself and die. So your physical body, your human body that was created, I don't know how it was created, but you're in it until you're not, knows to get rid of the stuff that you don't need. Use what you need, excrete the rest. We're going to do that with your house and your life too. So again, I feel good. I've already introduced myself to the new folks and the folks who know me, Beth Destination Decluttered, because travel, road trips, such a wonderful metaphor, such a wonderful way to get out of the drama of the actual thing and say, what would I do if I was in my car? What would I do if I was in my car? In this situation. Now, if your body is your car, if your life is your car, if you hit a dead end, you wouldn't just be like, oh, well, I guess that didn't work. I guess I'll live here at this dead end. No, you'd be like, shit. I thought this was going to work and it didn't. Oh, well. And then you turn your car around and you find a different way to get to where you want to go, which is your destination. So this is how I talk. I sing, I dance, a little seltzer in your pants. I like to have fun while I'm getting stuff done, because if I don't have fun, I don't do the things. So finding a way to make what you want to do less painful. I'm not saying everything's going to be yippee skippy, but less painful than you just think it is. And sometimes just starting it, you realize, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. How many times have you said that? Or you're like, shit, this is not good, but I'm in it, so I'm going to get to the other side. Okay? So I just offer to you, if you're stuck with clutter, if you don't know what to do with clutter, I can help. I'm a life coach, so I have my certain approaches, and involving your nervous system and writing stuff down and chunking things down and using your calendar, wicked simple stuff. Stuff you kind of already do. So let's make each one of those steps a little bit more effective for you, so you're not wasting your time and energy doing something kind of inefficiently. The sooner we can get you feeling better physically and energetically, the sooner you recognize what you want to do and have to do and write it down, okay? The sooner you're going to be on the road again, towards your destination decluttered. And when you find a way that works for you to do something that isn't that hard, you're going to show up tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the whatever days you want. And that's how you get to where you want to go, okay? Good morning, German Maid 95. I love it. I am decluttering my own home within the next month and starting today and multiple days afterwards, because we've been busy over the summer. And it's a bit funny because I thought of it just this morning. So the way my kind of internal calendar goes, and notice how my hand is going in a circle. I picture the calendar in a circle, and I find the summer is at the top because I love summer and that's when I was born. And now we're on the shoulder season of September, October, November, December. And so it's a bit like that back to school time, even if you don't go back to school. Depending upon where you live, the weather may be changing. The weather changing can can get you to be like, oh my goodness, it's the changing of the clothing. Perhaps some of you have children and it's back to school time. Perhaps it's empty nest time. I don't have kids, but I've got a husband who's kind of childlike at sometimes, and he's not around. And so there's a wee bit of the empty nest here. Now, I kind of don't mind that. I will mind it in a few days when I do miss him. But for now, there's so many little things I just want to putter and declutter and make better so the house feels good to me that I'm excited to start those things. So that's a little bit of the preamble. Okay, the we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and something, the blessings of liberty, to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. The power of music, the power of making things fun. Schoolhouse Rock. I learned more about English and history and math with Schoolhouse Rock than I pretty much almost ever did in school. So let's make things fun. Okay, I'm not about to create songs. That's my husband's job. He can write songs about decluttering, but I'm here to help you. So if I'm here to help you, I'm sitting here at my little desk. Hit me with something. How about you? There's only a handful of people here. I love it when there's only a handful of people. I don't even say only. You are closer in line, and there is no line. You are closer to where I'm sitting to just walk up and say, here's my problem. If I got a problem, I'll solve it. Okay? So what you got? What you got today? Huh? It's Tuesday. It's the first full day of September. How can I help you make your decluttering easier? Now, actually, let me rephrase that. Because you don't know how I could do that, but you tell me your problem, where you're stuck, and kind of like, I would say like a doctor, but not like a doctor, like an auto mechanic. You bring your car in, you explain to me what's going on, and I can help diagnose it. Okay? I love it. Kia 6913 is saying listening. I love it. Listen with your ears and your heart, your nervous system. Be open. Be open. And that's stretching helps you be open. Ow, ow, ow. And doing laundry. So being open allows you to receive the wisdom and use it to help yourself. So I love that you're doing that. But I show up for you wherever you are. And if you're grooving, you're in a groove, I will encourage the groove. But if you're not into the groove and you're in a rut, because a groove and a rut are kind of the opposite coins, I'm here to help you. So I will give you a moment, because some quieting down of me will allow you the space to listen to your own head and listen to your heart, right? And say, what is it? Okay? Thank you, LL, for loving my hair. I did take a shower this morning. It doesn't always happen. I was going out to the blood draw place. I had to look quasi-human, but thank you. Settle down, kind of like this. You're all in a tiz, right? Just take a moment to settle down, like those little bubbly bubs. Can you see them? Breathing down. I've slowed down how I'm speaking. I'm quieting down. And when you have some space, when you have some quiet, and you purposely squish down the chaos, quiet, turn down the chaos, like the volume on the car radio. And you can tell I'm old school because I still am like turning knobs. My body language was made in a certain era. Boston Mama. Boston Mama. I am a Massachusetts gal myself. Haven't lived there in decades now, which is crazy. But man, will you hear it in my voice? The hardest thing for me is emotional clutter. Yeah, that's okay. The hardest thing, I think, honestly, for everybody is the emotional clutter. Okay? So I'll offer to you Boston Mama and Star Queen. What a great idea. Carla Jane. Nice to see you, Carla Jane. The hardest thing for you is the emotional clutter, Boston Mama. You are in good company. Welcome to the crew. What I will offer to you, though, is do not start with the hardest stuff. Much like being at the gym, you don't go in and immediately go and get the heaviest weights. So, Boston Mama, there are two layers of clutter that are going to be easier for you to start dealing with so that you practice the motions, the habit of decluttering, and you build your decluttering muscle so that when you get to the emotional clutter, it won't be as bad as it feels right now. Okay, so Boston Mama and everybody, 3 layers of clutter. Surface clutter, on the surface, kind of just the dribs and drabs of everyday life that accumulate. The second layer down is stored clutter. So like imagine yourself in your kitchen, okay? I'm going to see if this pans out. I'm like quickly running through it before close enough. In the kitchen, the stuff in the surface is going to be stuff on a surface. Kitchen table, floor, chair, any kind of horizontal surface is surface clutter. And that's usually stuff that either doesn't have a home yet or it has a home and it just hasn't been put there yet. Okay, so that's usually most of that is pretty simple. Putting stuff away, that type of thing. The second layer down is stored clutter. Stored clutter is in your kitchen, your cupboards, your doors and drawers, as I like to say it. Doors of your cupboard, drawers in the cabinets, like silverware and, accessories and what do I have in mind? Like dish towels and then kind of miscellaneous stuff. So those are 3 layers. And even in your kitchen, I bet you have some sentimental items in your kitchen. I know I do. That 4th stored drawer that I was talking about, I've got stuff that people have given me. I've got stuff that I bought that I thought I was going to use. So don't start with that stuff, but practice decluttering and get good at the surface, get good at the stored, and then, my dear, when you get to the emotional clutter, you will be stronger, you'll be better prepared, and you will have a process that I am here to teach you. You'll have a process so that when you get to the emotional clutter, you kind of know what's going on and you will feel better about it. I love this. Star Queen says, I have a new tactic. Now, I love looking at things from different perspectives. And she says, I have a new tactic. My things now get a performance review. If they're no longer useful, they're fired. I love it. Alrighty. Twintastic from Rhode Island. Oh my God, I love it. We've got our New Englands in the house. Anybody here? So we've got Massachusetts, I assume, Boston Mama. We got Mass, we got Rhode Island. Any Connecticut, Vermont, Maine, or New Hampshire? Out yourself, because I'm a New England gal, okay? So, yeah. So don't start with the things you dread, Boston Mama, and Twintastic. Oops, things just zooped. Got California, we got New Hampshire. D's in New Hampshire. Love it. Love it. Rhode Island. I am stuck to start. I need to convince myself to do small bursts. Convincing is a really interesting word, and I will spend some time on the words we use because there is a substitution you can do. Now, convincing is like when I learned about life coaching, when I was getting my certification. They talked about the difference between convincing somebody and sharing the vision they had and wanting to help them with that. So if you're convincing yourself, you are trying to make yourself believe something that you currently don't believe. So let's change that. So why not, instead of I need to convince myself to do small bursts, how about this? I want to experiment. I'm going to experiment in doing small bursts, because small bursts is one of the parts of the process that I said I would teach you. And I call it chunking down, taking the big project and chunking it down into smaller bits. Okay? So notice that changing your words can seriously be a different perspective on how you do things. Okay? Oh, that one persona. Ignore any typos, dealing with the dilated eyes after my checkup. I love it. Marietta. Did you hear me say almost Marietta? Because you said Boston. Outed. Lived in Boston 87 to 95. I was in the Boston area in 87 to 95. Married a Vermonter. Go Sox. I live in Go Birds territory. And luckily I am not Sporty Spice. But yeah, there we go. Go Sox. Lisa's originally from Mass and Kentucky, but notice, Illinois, born in Maine. No matter where you live, you and probably a lot of your neighbors and friends, but they're too whatever to share it, there is clutter to deal with. So when I mentioned I will give you a kind of a template to use, I'll review that really now in very high terms. And I mean like high level, okay? Very simple, very clear, because that's how I am. So if you want to write these things down, please feel free to do so, okay? So I'll give you a minute. Grab yourself a piece of paper. Grab something to write on, because this is good stuff. It has worked for me. I grew up I'm going to tell you a little story as you go to grab a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil or a crayon or whatever you want to write with. So I grew up in New England, and I grew up raised by people who didn't grow up with a lot of money. They were also raised by people who didn't have a lot of money. So my people saved a lot of stuff that was good. Now, there is absolutely nothing wrong with saving stuff that is good. There's a lot of things that can be right about that. Where we tend to get jammed up is when you have too many items that are good and you're not using them. And instead of making your life easier, that starts to make your life less easy. Now, that's how I was raised by my parents and my family. Luckily for me, when I was also getting raised by them and I was old enough to work, I worked with other people and in retail, I was ice cream shop, like so many things places that I worked where I learned about kind of systems and routines and habits and making things look good on the surface, fronting and facing, if anybody ever worked in retail. So I learned the surface part. The thing that took me decades to even feel like I could deal with was the stuff behind the scenes. As I mentioned, surface, stored, sentimental. The stored clutter and the sentimental clutter, I didn't get really good at that until seriously, like the last 10 years. So if you're saying, oh my God, I've been this way all my life, drama queen. Everybody has an internal drama queen. I call mine the backseat driver. It's okay. All right? So I will offer to you, okay? And hold on for just a sec. Here's the simple format I will have you write down. Okay, you're going to use the word down a lot, so just note that. From the crown, so the number 1 is checking in with your physical body. From the crown on down, notice a rhyme, and a word down. Check in with your physical body at all times. The more you can do to make yourself feel better, feel good, the better you are. Okay? The second one is going to be people call it many things. I sometimes call it like the electricity that's running through your body. You could call it your soul. You could call it your nervous system. You could call it, I don't know, Fred if you want. But your nervous system. And it's basically a combination of calming down and then getting up to do things. Calming down and then feeling like you can get up and take action. So those two things, physical and nervous system. The third one is writing down. So calming down your nervous system or revving it up, and calming down your nervous system, physical, nervous system. The third one is going to be writing down your answers to the questions that I may ask you or you should be asking yourself. Asking yourself a question and quieting down your brain and giving yourself the space on a paper to write down your answers to those questions. The next thing is sometimes the answer can be a very big block and then we chunk it down. The fourth one is going to be chunking it down. And then I guess the fifth one is going to be writing down those chunks onto your calendar. And then doing those chunks and writing things down. There's a lot of writing down. But it's not like, dear diary, I saw Richard at church today when I was coming back from communion. He's so tall. It's not that kind of thing. It's bullet points and it's action, okay? So those are like the 4.5 plus steps that I will repeat over and over again. I wanted to make sure you wrote that down so you can practice that too, okay? Anastasia's tuning in. Anastasia says, everyone, I chunked out the clothing. I got interrupted and have to put everything back. Okay. Do you have to put everything back? Sometimes it happens. Okay. That one persona, says, had a ta-da moment. Yay for the ta-da moments. I hand washed silverware last night and all the dishes are clean, minus the few that are recently used. Awesome. And that one persona says, and for anyone that knows me and you know you, it's kind of a big deal. I'm kind of a big deal. I do a lot of those things that to somebody else may be nothing to me, Yeah. Saving things because I can use it later, says Mary. Gotcha. Boston Mama says, I can relate. Saving things because they are good. Yes. Christine, nice to see you. Okay. What I want to offer to those of us, not you, but us, who are saving things because they are good. If they are good but you are not using them, get curious about that. They can be good, but they may not be good for you now. They may have been good for you at one point, but notice the difference. They are good. There's value in that item, that shirt, that rice cooker, that spatula, those shoes, that couch. There's value in it. There's still life in it, but it may not work for who you are. And that's okay. Mary says, saving things because I can use it later. I get that too. I can make a, tuna melt, like at Brigham's, okay? I have a can of tuna fish. I can technically make a can of tuna fish. Have I used that tuna fish in the last 6 months? No. You know why? Because I don't like tuna fish, actually. I am done with tuna. I guess begrudgingly I'll eat it if it's protein, but I've had enough of tuna. My husband likes it though. So just because you can use it later, just because it is good, this is where the life coachy part comes in, which is those things can be true. It is good. I can use it later. But do you want to? Do you want to? Just because it's good, do you want to use it? And notice, that's a question. Do you want to? Question. Write down your answer. Illumination will occur. Okay? So, yeah. And right, that one persona says something that helps me. See, we're all here kind of, exchanging recipes like the confidential chat in the Boston Globe. Totally talking to my New England people today because I see a few of you. Something that helped me. If I'm not using it, it loses its value, and it's better to pay it forward, aka donating it, so someone else can gain from it. Okay? Yeah. Lori Hannah. Yay, Lori Hannah, nice to see you. Used to be all or nothing, she says, and we did one-on-one coaching together because I also do one-on-one coaching for people. Used to be all or nothing, but finally have success with chunking it down. Okay? So, yay for practicing the chunking it down and feeling like it is success. Lovely. Lovely to hear from you. Now, Lisa says, and this is a good thing too. Notice that this is a riff on the above things about there's still life in it and I could use it or maybe not. Lisa says, I've got MS and I can't wear all these expensive shoes. Notice that word expensive. I don't know what to do with them because there's no place to sell them. Okay, so this is the thing. Notice what Lisa did. She wrote down what her kind of issue is. Writing it down allows you to more specifically kind of articulate it. Okay, so notice something happened. You used to be, you've got your past, your present, and your future. Okay. In the past, you used to wear those shoes. Those shoes that you spent a lot of money on. Expensive. Everybody here, I'm looking at everybody. Every single one of us. Your relationship with money totally affects what you keep and what you let go of. Let me repeat that. Notice I paused for effect. Your relationship with money affects how you declutter, if you declutter, when you declutter. So notice, Lisa, notice the difference. If those were shoes that got handed down to you from somebody else who bought them at, the St. Vincent de Paul, somebody gave you a bunch of shoes that were nice, that still had life in them, but they bought them used, they used them, and they gave them to you. How would you feel about letting go of those shoes versus the story you tell yourself of, but I paid a lot of money for that? Money contributes to your stress about letting go of stuff or hanging on to it. And I don't say just you, every single person here. All right? I'm really confident in that. I don't know what to do with them because there's no place to sell them. Is that true though? Now, I coach people from all across the country and everywhere. And it's so funny. I used to have a map of the US right here. So my body tends to go look for it. Every single place in the country is different. So Lisa, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong initially. But with the internet, if they are truly expensive shoes that some other people might want, you could sell them on the internet to somebody. Okay? Notice, actually this is fun. Mama Kimbo is going through her shoes right now. Okay? And Marietta is offering Poshmark. Okay? Yeah. Your relationship with money does affect how you let go of stuff. Okay, Carly Jane, I hope that's what, remember, Yes, and also it tells you a story. It's a reminder, it's a story that makes me feel bad. Words in my head. This means I can't use these shoes because I have a disability. So notice that story. If you focus on that story, it will be hard for you to hang on to those shoes. And then the sad thing is, the even sadder, and there's some sadness we deal with decluttering, especially when you're at a certain age. I right now am wearing pretty much orthopedic flip-flops that even a couple of years ago, I swore to God that I was not going to wear out of the house except to maybe the patio. What did I do just now? I walked over to get my blood work in my cushy, giant orthopedic shoes because I can no longer wear little tiny flip-flops for long periods of time because my feet have changed, because I have changed. Okay? And so I love this, okay? I love that there are also helpers. You guys, what's his name? Mr. Rogers would be so proud of us because we're all trying to help somebody else as we help ourselves, okay? So notice, I will say, I'm backing up right now to see if I can do it. Okay. Lisa has told herself there's no place to sell these expensive shoes that I can't wear anymore. There's no place. Marietta offers Poshmark. Okay. Mama Kimbo says consignment stores. Okay. That one persona also offers a consignment store. Do you have a friend that can sell for you online? Can you sell them on eBay? Jen says, yes, I love reselling. So you have a story that's stopping you, which is there's no place for me to sell them. And this is where I get a little bit, pretend you're in a court of law. Pretend you're on Perry Mason and just simply ask, is that really true? Because we have all the evidence right here in the comment section of many places that you could conceivably to sell those things. Okay? So just question. Erin, right here, UFOs for the wind. Yeah, and that's what we do here. Depop, see, you know what? You offer what you're struggling with. Help is out there. Help. I need somebody help, not just anybody. Me, okay? Me, Beatles fan, here to help you. All right, Mary, notice, you said, it's hard for me to get rid of things because, notice the thing that's jamming you up, I spent money on them. Okay, so a couple of things about the money you have spent on items, and that you will spend money on items. Okay, so I offer to you and every single person here, yes, I spent money on those things. What I offer to you to start thinking of is two things. One is successful businesses recognize a concept called the sunk cost fallacy. As my family would say, throwing good money after bad. So when you buy something, you're buying it with the hope, when you invest your money in something, in anything, there is a hope that you will get the value out of it, that you will get what you want out of it. I bought the shoes, I'm wearing the shoes, and then maybe I'm not wearing the shoes anymore. With very few exceptions, you will not get the same money for your stuff that you paid for it initially. Okay? So again, just notice how your thoughts that come up under the money category are stopping you from looking for ways to release those items. Erin says Depop is the resale site my 19-year-old used to sell her gently used stuff. Okay. People have walk-in closets. Ooh, I love this. Because here's a really interesting thing about clutter and decluttering. Many other folk in this biz will try to sell you on that the solution to your problem is more storage space. Okay? No. Look, we've got people who have more storage space. My closets, I can't fit into them. They're little tiny 1950s closets. The solution to your problem is not more storage. It's deciding what you want to store and aligning with what you want to save with the space you have. Okay, yeah, Paula to the Jean. Yo, P to the J. Yeah, this is hitting home. Notice where my hand goes when it hits home. It doesn't go to my toes. It goes to the heart of the matter. It's the heart of the matter. That guy from the Eagles. Yeah, because the money is why I struggle to let go. All of us do. Many of us do. I don't want to be blankety statementy. But yeah. Mama Kimbo says, if you take the price tag out of it, would you keep it then? So notice what I did earlier, and maybe you're just tuning in, and if you are, my goodness, it's been 41 minutes now. My name is Beth, Decluttering Life Coach, Destination Decluttered. Destination Decluttered, okay? Here on TikTok, YouTube, website, mailing list, all sorts of one-on-one coaching. I do it. That's what I do, okay? And what I want to offer to you is, notice earlier, I told a story of some shoes. Here's some shoes. Shoes are just, they're shoesing, okay? A pair of shoes, right? Excuse me, okay? I just took them off my feet, hot off the feet. I get shoes. You could tell a story that says, I spent so much money for those and I feel bad. I feel wasteful. I feel like I'm going to get in trouble, that I paid a lot of money and I don't wear them anymore. So I save them to save myself from feeling pain, for getting in trouble, for playing it safe. But my shoes are piling up. Shoes that I don't wear are piling up. That is only one story you're telling yourself. On the other hand, or I guess we could say if the shoe is on the other foot, you could say to yourself, here are some shoes. I paid money for them. I got some use out of them, but I am no longer using them. I enjoyed the time I wore these shoes, and now, while they're still in good condition, because when you save things, things will start to decompose in your closet. So you can say, I am going to share those shoes with the world so somebody else can enjoy them. Two stories, same shoes, two stories. Which one makes you feel worse? Which one makes you feel better? When you feel better, your world opens up. Okay? Yeah. Yes, Therapy Gal Sue says, selling items is too much for me to do. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. I looked myself in the mirror, said, the money was long gone. Remember where you left your money. I left my heart in San Francisco. You left your money at the shoe store. You don't have the money now. You have the shoes. The only way you can technically get the money back is if you go back to the shoe store and you haven't worn the shoes. Okay? Now, Tanya says, I came from a period of homelessness. Oop, I backed up. I apologize. A lot of people here. Love it. I'm backing up here. So there we go. Tanya says, and I get this. I came from a period of homelessness. In the coaching biz, in life coaching, we call that lack. Lack of everything, probably. Lack of a home, lack of safety, security, lack of stuff because you didn't have a place to put your stuff. So I get that. In the past, you were homeless. Right now, even though you are legit right now no longer homeless, part of your nervous system is in fear mode that you may be homeless again, and or you are making up for lost time, acquiring things. You say you can't say no to free. You actually can. You actually can, but at the moment you're choosing not to. You are currently making the decision to say yes to free stuff. Now that's all well and good. I have said yes to free stuff, but at a certain point, notice that saying yes to free is also not making your life feel good. Okay? So this is funny. And so just notice that, Tanya. And everybody here, I don't care who you are, you have a story from your past that is causing you to hold on to something that if that story wasn't there, you would do something different. Mic drop moment. Okay. Sue is another person that can't walk into my walk-in closet, reinforcing that the solution is not more storage, it's fewer things. Okay? Yeah, and Lisa, notice that feelings, whoa, feelings totally play a part. Money, stories from the past, feelings that you have felt in the past that you feel right now, that you may feel in the future, feelings can hold you back because you're grieving on and off about your disability. That fucking sucks. I can't wear those shoes anymore. And yet, it's a tough thing to realize, even if I save these shoes, to say I may never do this again. I may never wear those shoes again. And it can be really disheartening to say that part of my life is over. You're okay. Every reason to grieve. Okay? So I just offer to you guys, this is what I like to help with. This is what, yeah. And look, so does everybody else. We always have a great crew of people here. Yeah. Now, one of the things you can substitute to yourself as a phrase that may have you look at your clutter in a different way is one, and Christine put it right here in the comments, and we've got some messages I'm just catching up on. So if you've posted something, please know I haven't gotten to them yet. I'm trying to be polite and go in chronological order, but a flurry came in. Okay. Sunflower got rid of 6 pairs of shoes yesterday. 100 more to go. Yeah. Focus on the 6. Chunk it down. Maybe you go through another 6 today. Okay. Where'd it go? See, again, it flurried. Christine says, but where'd it go? Anyhow, I know what she says. What's the absolute worst? And she has it in comment. What is? Think to this. Write this down too if you're writing down stuff, which I hope you are. What is the absolute worst that could happen if I let this go? That is something that helped Christine. It helps me. Maybe it will help you. And she says that phrase helped me so much to be, and notice the word, lighthearted. Not heavy-hearted, but the opposite. Lighthearted about letting go of something. Okay? Alrighty? Yeah. Good stuff, people. Yeah, Susie says sometimes even giving away feels good. I think giving away feels great. Sometimes I feel like giving away feels as good as making money. That's why literally right now I am giving away free coaching, like as we speak. Not like, oh, and here I'm going to sell you something at the end of my 1 hour. I do one-on-one paid coaching with individuals, but I give away the wisdom every day pretty much on a TikTok live and a YouTube live. And just as a heads up, for those of you who are kind of, I will watch the clock for you. I'm on the East Coast of the U.S., 11:49 Eastern it is, okay, just as a reality check. I'm not sure what you have going on for the next 11 minutes. Maybe we hang out together. I don't know what you have going on from noon to 1 time. I know what I have going on is that I have a YouTube live doing the exact same thing I'm doing right now, hanging out with you guys, helping you with your clutter, noticing some things you may never even thought about it. I really am affected by the way that my grandparents grew up. The way my grandparents grew up is why my house looks the way it does. Yeah, it could be. Okay, so I just offer to you, giving away things can feel wonderful. Can feel really good to help somebody who's struggling with finding a pair of shoes. The other thing too is if you want to know when I show up live on TikTok and YouTube, and I do that pretty much once a day, both places, there is a TV guide, a schedule posted for you to refer to every single day. It's about 2 weeks out yet. Actually, no, I gotta do next week's. It's already almost the 13th. But it's hidden. It's only available to the people who say, yes, I would like to learn more. And that is when you join the email group. Now, there's not a lot going on in the email group. I am specifically free and low key. So if you go to my website, if you want to know when I'm showing up tomorrow, for example, on TikTok, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on TikTok, Saturday, you guys, we have a declutter party, destinationdecluttered.com. I feel like I should have something and I write it backwards and you can see what it is. But I'll repeat it and it's in my TikTok info. Destinationdecluttered.com. Scroll to the bottom, add yourself to the list, and then you get a link to where the schedule is. So if you feel like this has been helpful for you, you know when to show up again. Again, it's just like watching, Happy Days on, ABC on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Okay? So, I love it. Shoe rot. Somebody just mentioned shoe rot. Yes, things that you hang on to. Food, clothing, everything is decomposing, including our bodies. Okay? Now, yes. So I'm going to back up. I love that shoes are a thing here, huh? So, I love this. So there's a lot of shoe comments here. So Sunflower got rid of some. Yay. Lexi said, good morning from California. Saw you yesterday morning and it made my day. Make my day. Maybe I'll make your day today and tomorrow and the next day because I'm going to be here for a while. All right? Yay. Force yourself to wear shoes one more time and take a picture. If you're in pain, let it go. Yes, maybe someone else will love the shoes. Wouldn't it make you happy if someone else could? Okay? User 9724 says, I might need it later. So make a plan and use it later. Okay? Now, there we go. Paula to the Jean says, I join your lives often, but today is the chef's kiss. You're exposing the feelings behind the resistance, of course, because I'm a life coach, but this is what we do. But sometimes I do that in many ways. However, sometimes it just hits. Okay? Kara sold her dance goes because arthritis means I can't wear them. It was hard, but they were reminding me of my foot pain. Yeah. I love it. People are finding good places to donate their stuff. Okay? Love it. Love it. Now, Sharon says, when I donate something that is hard to get rid of, and I'll kind of edit here, I make it easier on myself by telling myself a different story. Okay? So she says, when I donate something that is hard to get rid of, I change the story. I say, I am blessing someone else. Now, I love this because I am an actual godmother to my niece, but also a fairy godmother. Who wouldn't want to be saying, I'm helping somebody here. That'll help you and that'll help you. Now, sometimes you will not know who you're helping. Isn't that kind of neat? To just be like the universe and drop a gift for somebody who didn't even know it. You hanging on to old pairs of shoes. I have a pile of shoes right here. Can you see it? Literally right behind me here. Okay? And much like somebody set up thread, on the back of this closet door right here, I have one of those like hanging bags. And I too say, I will not have any more shoes than can fit in my storage. Right? Yeah, and shoes can be expensive, so nice ones are such a blessing to someone. And out of the choices, do you want to be a greedy person who hangs on to things that you're not even using? Hello, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Jeff Bezos, just to name a few. Do you want to be like that? Or do you want to say, you know what? I have what I need. I can help other people. Okay? Choose your own adventure. Which character do you want to be? The choice is yours. I just point it out. Do you want to be greedy and hanging on to things that you will not leave, you will not use in a quadrillion years? Okay? Here's an interesting thing just to think about this stuff. Let me see if I saved it here. Oh, I'll find it. Okay? You can choose who you want to be. However, I get it. I get it if you're still in clinging on fear mode, because you may never have examined where you came from and where you are. I love being a fairy godmother. There we go. Yeah, be a Dolly Parton in a world filled with Bill Gates thinking. I always like to use Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos specifically, actually. I will use him because he also makes it so easy for us to acquire items. And he is making money off of our ability to hit the feeder bar and get something sent to the house. So I will use him. Who do you want to be? A Jeff Bezos or a Dolly Parton? I want to be a Dolly Parton. Okay? Yeah. And Who's Your Mama says, oh, I just thought it'd be nice to add a note to the donation. May this bless you. What a cool idea. You can also add that note, even if you don't write it down. You can imbue your donation with a good vibe. You know, I trust. This is what I say to myself when I put things that have maybe barely been used. Okay? And say to yourself, I trust that this stuff that I'm going to donate is going to bless somebody. Okay? So notice that. You can say it to yourself to make yourself feel good about decluttering. Now, user 9720, I want to offer this to you because I only have about 3 minutes left on this TikTok live, but I am going to be hopping over to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel and doing the exact same thing. Okay? And I offer to you, user 9720, this TikTok live that I'm just kind of wrapping up right now is being recorded, and it will be uploaded again to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel later today. I say that because when you say, I feel exhausted just thinking about starting the task to declutter, that's why we start where you feel exhausted and where you think. So, couple of things from the crown on down. If you're feeling exhausted, rest your body. If you have telling yourself stories that it's overwhelming to declutter, let's quiet down those stories that are activating your nervous system. Only when you deal with only when you check off those two boxes will you feel more ready to even start to think about possibly beginning to do some decluttering. Okay? Yeah. And yeah, so I'm going to 2 minutes, we can have that conversation on Destination Decluttered on YouTube. I'm happy to do that. All right? And notice, Dolly Parton gives most of everything she earns away, and this is so important, Teddy Bear, Dolly Parton still has a lot despite giving some stuff away, so much away. So notice, you can still have a lot. You can still have the right amount for you and still be like Dolly. You can still feel safe in your nervous system and safe with the quality and quantity of your items and help other people. I know this is not how our society typically works, or it does in a small percentage, but I am here to help you realize that you can be more Dolly and less Bezos, okay? And it will improve. You will learn a skill. You learn the skill of easily letting go of things. That will improve how your home looks. When your home looks better, you will feel better. When your home looks better and you have fewer items, it's easier to keep it looking good. When it's easier to make it look good, you have more time to do the stuff you really want to do with your life before you die. That is why, as I sign off here, I am Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called, and just remember this thing above here because it's like a road trip, Destination Decluttered. You can follow me here on TikTok, but better yet, hop on my mailing group, email group, DestinationDecluttered.com. Sign up there. I see a few of you have done that already. You immediately will get access to the schedule so you know when I show up again, if you want to show up again. Okay? And Teddy Bear says we will see you on the YouTube. So I'm going to do that myself. I'm hopping over there right now. And let's continue to hang out. Okay? If not now, perhaps some other time. But it was lovely to meet all of you. And I hope this helped. All right?